Welcome to another episode of the Off Market Operator Podcast. I am your host, Ruud-Johnson. And in today's show, I was actually just on a very delayed honeymoon with my wife. We had a delay because of some health stuff and some COVID stuff and some other stuff. So today's episode, you guys, we are going to be diving into how to get out of the hustler stage. And our community call once a week in our school community, which you guys aren't in there, you should be in there. It's $27 a month and you get all of our courses, all of our training, all of our resources. But one of the questions today in our community call with 30 or so of us was how to get out of the hustler stage. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The hustler stage. The stage of your business, the stage of your journey where you're wearing all the hats. Very easy to burn out, very easy to regret it, very easy to doubt yourself. I remember my hustler stage vividly sitting at my parents' house with my then business partner, Paul, calling all day, every day, hitting the phones. It's not a necessarily fun time of life. When looking back on it, as always, is some of the most meaningful times in business. And I've gone through that phase several times because I've started several companies and I get back in the sales seat and I get back in the fulfillment seat and I get back in the admin seat. And it's not a bad period. It can just be a challenging period. And it's normally the place where people will burn out, right? They either burn out or not make it. When you look at a lot of industries, look at the finance industry, the real estate industry, the reason why 85% of people don't make it, the reason why last year 46% of real estate agents didn't do a deal, the reason why last year out of the every seven homes that sold off market, 80% of people that weren't involved in any of those transactions that are trying to do deals is because they're in the hustler stage and they burn out or they quit. And the hustler stage I define as you don't have leverage in your business. And there's 5 types of leverage you can get. Content, so content training your team, content for the world to buy your product. You have capital, so raising money or private money lenders. You have code, so software, systems, tools, AI. You have collaboration, right? Collaboration is people. I can be overseas, that can be stateside. So you have content, you have code, you have collaboration, and you have capital. There is one more, but I am forgetting it off the top of my head here. It is later in the day on a Friday here when I like to record these podcasts. Anyways, that's where people get stuck. They don't have leverage and they can't afford leverage. And the way I answered this question today for Herbert, who's in our off-market operator community, our school community, the way I answered this for him today was, well, first off, it's a great question. And the way I positioned this for him was, well, we got to think about if we don't have leverage, we have to prioritize 80 to 90% of our time on the quadrant, right? We talk about the quadrants that you spend your time on. There's 4 quadrants. You have the delete quadrant, you have the delegate quadrant, you have the production quadrant, you have the investment quadrant. The delete quadrant is things like unnecessary email and Slack and Facebook groups and coffee shops and things that don't actually make you money. The delegate quadrant is things that do make you money, but it's not in your best skill set. So that you might start out having to do dispositions or cold calling, but eventually that might be hired out to someone else. Then you have your production zone, your zone of genius. If you're an amazing salesperson, spend time in your production zone. If you're an amazing marketer, spend time in the production zone. And then you have the investment zone, which is, reading masterminds courses, listening to podcasts like this and improving your business and getting a lot of insights. A lot of my insights come from that. And you want to spend about 80% of your time in the production zone, 10% of your time in the investment zone, and 10% of your time in the delegation zone, 0% of your time in the delete zone. So in order to do that, and in the beginning, your production zone is sales and marketing, right? To get your business to $500,000, $1 million a year in off-market deals, it's a production zone problem. You need to spend as much. I told him because he was so focused on systems that and hiring this person and automating this and AI that. And the reality is at this level of your business, you should be focused on 2 things. It's how much marketing and how many leads you can get in and how many deals you can do. That's what you have to be focused on. So I told him 80% of your time should be spent doing deals and doing marketing. As you stack capital, as you get more revenue in the door, then you can start buying back your time and getting leverage and what I call a delegation ladder for real estate, which is a spin on Dan Martell's book, Buy Back Your Time. And if you haven't read that book, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, I love that book. I highly recommend that read. Where I was headed with that was understanding once you have some capital built up from sales and marketing, then you can start buying back your time. And most people want to go straight to, I want to go hire a sales guy. That doesn't work. You need to go hire someone to take off the admin waste, the delete quadrant, your CRM maintenance, your data pulling, your skip tracing, your KPI tracking, your email inbox, your Slack, things that just do not drive revenue. You're posting on social media. A lot of you guys need to just start by delegating the basics to the admin zone. And you can do that for $4 or $5 an hour, $800, $900 a month. Say you've stacked 50 grand in your bank account from just hustling, running the 2 sides of the business. Then you can really start to scale, right? You can really start to scale. Once you get that admin time back, right? Because now you're adding 10, 20% more to more sales and more marketing. And then you stack another 50 grand. And then you go and you hire a transaction coordinator and a fulfillment team to do your walkthroughs and your contracts and your title and escrow work. And you can pay them $300, $400, $500 per transaction. And then you get more time back. And then you go up to the marketing level and you hire a marketing manager or you outsource to agencies. And now you have 5, 10 leads per day coming in. And a lot of people want to hire sales before marketing. You never want to do that, because if you hire a salesperson without consistent leads, it's a recipe for nightmare. You're going to have churn. They're not going to be able to provide for their families. They're not going to be able to make the money that they need to make for their role. It doesn't work out well. And then eventually leadership. You hire leadership roles, you promote internally, and you'll make those decisions. So those are the steps that you want to follow to honor the delegation ladder. And buy your time back until you get out of the hustler stage. But that hustler stage can last years for a lot of people. It doesn't have to, but the reality is there's some things in business you can't learn from a podcast, you can't learn from a book. You can read how to hire someone, but until you actually hire someone, it's a muscle you got to build. Management's a muscle you got to build. Culture and vision and leadership is a muscle you have to build. Everything that you do in your business is muscles that you have to build over time, gradually, day in, day out, repetition after repetition after repetition after repetition. Failing after failing. I put out a post today on my Instagram that people don't realize that business is 98% getting your teeth kicked in. It's 98% of the time losing. 1% of the time feeling like you may have some chance of success, and it's 1% of the time feeling like you're winning, like you're on top of the world. That's reality. Anyone trying to tell you something different is freaking selling you something, a course, a program, a mastermind, a get rich quick thing, a business op thing. That's not business. That's not reality. Business is hard. Business is getting your teeth kicked in over and over and over again. And progress is pain plus reflection. So you try something, it sucks, it hurts, it's painful. You reflect on it, you solve that problem, you move on. It's not jumping from opportunity to opportunity. Oh, I'm going to do sub 2. Oh, now I'm going to do Novation. The reason why a lot of people get stuck in this hustler zone is because they try to do that. I'm going to do subject 2. Now I'm going to do novations. Now I'm going to do yada, yada, yada. Now I'm going to do fix and flipping. Now I'm going to do some development. They go on this merry-go-round they never get off of, and they never get progress, and they never get traction. And that is not a place you want to be in. That's how you get burnout. That's how you get beat up more than you need to. So stick it out. If you're in the hustler zone, stick it out. Spend as much time finding leads, finding marketing, building your skill set. And if you want to, I very rarely plug anything on this podcast, but if you want to join a community, now about 100 people, for $27 a month, where you get all of our training, all of our education, all of our courses, all of our everything that we do, and you want to access all of that in one place, you can do that. And at the link in my bio on Instagram, and you can join that. It's called Ruud-Johnson. It's called our off-market operator community. And we will give you the tools and training to get out of the hustler zone if that's a route you want to go. So without further ado, we will end the episode there. Well, thanks guys for sticking around for another episode of the Off-Market Operator Podcast. Today we went over how to get out of the hustler stage, how to buy your time back. As always, you guys, I don't promote this show with paid marketing. It spreads through word of mouth and through you guys. So if you're enjoying this show, you're liking this show, you're getting value, you're getting benefit out of the show, well, you know how to share, how to spread love. It means the world to me if you share it with your friends, your family, on your stories. In my DMs, I do listen to your DMs, and a lot of the shows I make come from feedback that you guys give me, and that's very valuable. So as always, you guys, like I always say, you are one deal away.